All right, we're gonna do FPS Halo games. I think I'm qualified here. Infinite. All right, let's start. What are we starting with? That's funny. 2 is the first one. 2. All right, let's just go left to right. I'm gonna a hot take right off the rip here. I don't think any of them are garbage. I think there's a handful of bad ones, but I don't think any of them are garbage. Honestly, 2 exceptional, and I think it's because it's pioneering. I think it's because it's pioneering. Xbox Live. It was the reason to have Xbox Live. It was the reason to have an Xbox. Clan matches. Xbox Live party features. I think exceptional is good. And I think similarly, Halo Combat Evolved, Halo 1, gets the same treatment. Modernized FPS console controls, kind of just like the reason again to buy an Xbox, like prior to Xbox Live. These two have to be exceptional. And I don't think there's anyone who can really I don't really think you can you know, dog that opinion. Halo 3, I think it goes great. And I know that like people, you could easily throw 1 through 3 in exceptional. Easily. But I just think it kind of neutered some of the crisp feeling that 1 and 2 had to me from a multiplayer perspective. And even, you know, to some extent the campaign. Campaign, I think, you know, is probably makes it easily exceptional. But if you want to talk about like the snappy feel, I didn't have the same snappy feel with some of the aspects that I had in 1 and 2. So I'm going to put 3 in great. I think that's okay. Halo 3 ODST being here feels weird. And I know that it is like a campaign and I added some stuff, right? Like Firefight, I think, was originally added in here. But like to put it as a game, I think it goes in good. The music is amazing. The campaign, super cool, super moody, super atmospheric. So I think if we're, you know, if it was style over maybe like the complete package, you could kind of be like blah blah blah. But like being a deviation or like a flanker to the main lines being the main selling point, I don't think you can put it above these. I don't think you can put it above these for what it was, which was really DLC like sold as a game. So I think it's good. I think it's good. And I think that's fair. Halo 4, was it bad? If you started playing Halo 1 and 2, if that was where you started your journey, it's bad. If you started with Halo 3, it's probably average. For me, it just didn't do it for me. One of the first times I like didn't play through the like full game and really kind of like dropped it. Like whereas these 1, 2, and 3, that was like the game until the next one came out. Like you weren't really playing much. You would play other stuff, but like you were always playing these 3. 4, lifespan, shelf life, I think it goes in bad. Is it bad in terms of it's in a vacuum? No, it's pretty like it's a good looking game. Like it's functional. It does a lot of things, but is it a great Halo game? Is it a good Halo game? I think it's a good game, and I think it's a bad Halo game. And I think that's fair to say. I don't think any of these are garbage again, whatever, you know. I think it's bad. It's a good game. It's a bad Halo game. Halo 5. Hot take. I think Halo 5 is a great game. I think it's a great game. I think the multiplayer had staying power. I think they did a lot of things right. The biggest thing that I think makes it flirt with good is kind of that misleading campaign. The campaign is kind of like, you know, felt like a fanfic kind of. They kind of, and I'll be honest, the original marketing was much more interesting than what ended up being delivered. So, you know, I think this is one of those cases where, again, the multiplayer really elevates it. I really enjoyed the multiplayer. Did not love the campaign, but I think it's great. I do think it's great. Here's where we get spicy, because I know this is kind of like where you fall in the spectrum of like Halo games, right? If you're like a 1 and 2 and even 3 like multiplayer purist, I think Halo Reach is maybe even down to good. If you're a 1, 2, and 3 multiplayer purist, you probably put Reach somewhere down here. For me, I just genuinely like, even being like a, you know, Halo 2 is kind of like my home base. That's like my barometer for a Halo game. I just enjoyed the hell out of it. Not from like super competitive, not from like whatever, but I just played a ton of the multiplayer. I played so much of the multiplayer. I just really liked it. Like in standard modes, like team snipers, like BTB, invasion, Like, I think the Forge mode was amazing. I think, you know, the campaign, I think, was also really, 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 really good. I think, like, it's really, really, really good. And I think it's an exceptional game. It's like Bungie kind of experimental in their, like, experimental phase. I know some people hated it, got really frustrated. Like, armor lock, yeah, like there's a lot of BS, but, like, if you kind of just played the game, I think it was exceptional. I think it was exceptional. And then we got to Infinite, the most recent one. This one I struggle with, but I think if I'm putting it in terms of kind of how I qualified Halo 4, is it great? I don't think it's great. Is it good? It's probably good. I'm almost wanting to put it in average. It's tough for me. Again, free to play, but you have to buy the campaign. So I never played the campaign. I saw it and I was like, yeah, I think I'm good. And now they're like not supporting any more of the story. I don't even know what happens in the story. Like, at least with these other ones, like, I heard what happened. Like, people are like, oh, this happened. Let's say, yeah, that's cool. Halo Infinite, I don't even know. Like, you got you burned a DVD of Cortana, I think is what happened. You burned Cortana to like a diskette and kind of, I don't know, like what? Like at least these I'm like aware of, like kind of like the plot points. Like you kind of like get it. This one, no one even like, people cared so little, like nobody even spoiled it. You know what I mean? Like, people cared so little, nobody even spoiled the campaign. The multiplayer I think is good. Free to play, like that sort of thing, I think is good. Is it amazing? Is it great? I think Halo Infinite is average, but I think it's a good Halo game. I think it's a good Halo game, but I think it's an average game. I think that's the problem. I think it's a good Halo game. I think it's an average game, which is kind of cracked, but I think that's where we end up. Yeah. Again, Halo 4, probably a good game, bad Halo game, so it kind of falls out. Halo Infinite, it's like a good Halo game. Kind of, I don't know. It's kind of like, it's like an average Halo game, but a good, you know, it's kind of just, it's like kind of like, all right, guys, you know, like by the time Halo Infinite rolls around, you're kind of just like, yeah, man. I think the campaign was like a big, I don't know if it got many people excited. There's no like split screen co-op, not a lot of like, it didn't feel like it came with all the bells and whistles, you know, it didn't come with all the like odds and ends. You got like a battle pass and you got some like gamification of like credits and, you know, re-roll your dailies and all that sort of stuff. I think, you know, like Reach was cool. You just like kind of, you played the game and you didn't really have to worry too much about like which pass you were unlocking what. It was like, if you play the game, like you're going to get some credits and then you can like unlock some armor and eventually you can have everything kind of thing. And this just being like, well, yeah, so, you know, it's like a lot. It's like a lot. It's like a barrier to entry kind of thing. I think it's average. I think it's good. I think it's good. Like the multiplayer is like probably good, but I think the other things, the odds and ends, the bells and whistles, the trinkets kind of weighs it down. So I think this is where I land here. I think this is where we're landing. I think that's fair. I think that's probably fair. Is this like the consensus, I think, of what you might see on like the internet? Maybe. I think my outliers are kind of Halo Infinite and Halo Reach. I think some people kind of disagree with that, like based on what they want out of a Halo game. ODST as well. I think it's like, you know, it's like a DLC kind of thing. But that's kind of where I'm sitting.